Welcome to the fourth episode of our monthly look back at the state of Google Stadia, which has had to fend off some controversy this month, but for regular viewers, this is our show dedicated to all the news on Google Stadia over the past month, be that games, leaks, info, or anything else in between. So without any further ado, this is Save State for Google Stadia for October 2020. Thanks for watching 9to5 Google here on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe, and then tap the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. Let's start right at the top by giving a recap as to some of the controversy surrounding Stadia over the past couple of weeks and clear up just what actually happened. So sometime last week over on Twitter, Alex Hutchinson, the Montreal studio creative director of Stadia Games and Entertainment, hired as part of Stadia's acquisition of Typhoon Studios, tweeted about the current state of game streaming. As it stands, many creators fear the possibility of their content being taken down for copyright reasons based upon the music they're playing. Taking the idea a little step too far, Hutchinson suggested that streamers should also be concerned by streaming games they didn't pay for as well, and he proposed that streamers should be paying a percentage of their revenues to each game's publisher. As you'd expect given the controversial comments, this tweet was picked up on more or less instantly by the wider gaming and streaming communities. Naturally, the responses and hot takes were overwhelmingly negative to this pretty bold statement. Over the course of a few hours, Hutchinson's controversial tweets altogether received nearly 10,000 retweets on Twitter, which significantly exceeded the combined total of retweets on Google Stadia accounts' tweets across the entirety of the 3-day Good Stuff event for October 2020. Naturally, this led to Stadia becoming a major trending topic in the United States and further afield, which is not always a good look. To put it politely, the entire episode was a mess, with high-profile members of the streaming community like Dr. Disrespect being quick to point out Hutchinson's position as a creative director for Google Stadia. If Stadia is ever to win hearts and minds, clearly this is a substantial setback, even more so when the YouTube streaming and game streaming features will undoubtedly be an important aspect of the platform in the future. For Google's part, a spokesperson gave the following statement distancing the company from Hutchinson's comments, and we quote, "The recent tweets by Alex Hutchinson, creative director at the Montreal studio of Stadia Games and Entertainment, do not reflect those of Stadia, YouTube or Google." That said, this is not a great look, but let's hope Google can turn this wave of negativity into positive gaming experiences and win more hearts and minds. So back to the matter at hand, another month has therefore passed us by, which means another set of new Stadia titles to start streaming. There was a reasonably big rush of major titles last month, but as frustrating as it is, and it now appears to be customary, October 2020 has added a modest but notable selection of new titles for you to choose from. The biggest new addition has been Ubisoft's cyber-criminal simulator Watch Dogs Legion, which sees you take to the streets of a futuristic London complete with typical touristy highlights. The game sees you attempt to liberate the UK capital from a dystopian surveillance state, and you can take control of various characters to achieve the ultimate goal of freeing London from the watchful eye of Albion. Another major release is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, which combines stealth, exploration and samurai-style combat in a fictional version of Japan. The game received almost universal acclaim upon release on consoles way back in March 2019. Cake Bash has also come to Stadia and sees you battering other baked goods in a series of mini-games and challenges, making it the ideal way to settle some scores with friends and family. And although in early access, Baldur's Gate 3 brings Dungeons & Dragons style gameplay to Stadia, allowing you to play cooperatively against friends and foes alike, and the Limp Limb physics platformer Human Fall Flat is also now available as the perfect alternative to Cake Bash. For Stadia Pro subscribers for October 2020, your $10 per month subscription will nab you the cult classic climbing focused platformer Celeste, 3D survival horror fest Dead by Daylight, Human Fall Flat, Jotun, Lara Croft and the Temple of the Osiris, and super hot Mind Control Delete. Looking forward though to November 2020, you will be able to grab Nazi Sniping Simulator, Sniper Elite 4, Risk of Rain 2, Sundered Eldritch Edition, The Gardens Between and Hello Neighbour Hide and See. By our math though, that is 31 titles that are available to all Stadia Pro subscribers as of November 1st, with Just Shapes and Beats, Metro Last Light Redux, Strange Brigade and West of Loathing leaving the paid for Pro tier. Of course, this wouldn't be save state without talking about the new features, as Google adds yet more key features to the service as time passes. Right at the turn of October 2020, Google confirmed that official Stadia controllers now support USB-C headphones when playing on a Chromecast or web. Unfortunately, not though on the world of mobile, but it might be easier to just plug directly into your device rather than the controller itself. The new tandem mode lets you connect another gamepad to your wirelessly paired Stadia controller over USB-C. It helps expand accessibility and input options by letting you use third-party gamepads somewhat wirelessly when playing on a Chromecast Ultra. This means you can use third-party controllers as if they are native as long as they're connected via USB-C to your Stadia controller. Initially, Stadia on mobile data on an LTE or 5G connection was an experimental feature, but as of October 2020, you can now game at 720p without needing to opt into an in-app experiment. If you want to try this for yourself, it will use around 2.7 GB per hour when gaming at 720p. Currently, 720p though looks to be the only option for mobile data streaming, but we're expecting more options in the future. You can also now finally see just how long you've been playing a particular title in a similar way to how Steam tracks gameplay hours from your favourite titles. You can only track gaming hours on desktop though within the achievements section, but at least you can see just how long you've wasted on certain games. To help your friends let you know it's time to game, the Stadia app for Android and iOS now offers notifications for game invites, friend requests and more. Just as you'd expect, Stadia's notifications are short, simple, and let you jump right into the app to respond to the invite or friend request. As for upcoming features though, yet again we've dug into the Stadia Android app to see just what makes it tick, and some interesting and important stuff is set to come soon. With the upcoming family sharing feature, you'll be able to share purchased games, add-ons and claimed Stadia Pro games. They'll all be available to family members as part of this family sharing feature. This means that all of your DLC and games can be enjoyed with everyone without needing to fork out for games multiple times. Another new inclusion that looks like it will give you access to free trials of Google Stadia, we found evidence in a recent APK teardown that Google One members may soon be getting an extended free trial of Stadia Pro as a membership benefit. We've also found evidence in the APK files that you'll be able to refer your friends, which will then in turn net you a free month of Google Stadia Pro for yourself if your friend pays for their first month of Stadia. This might be a great way to entice your friends to the platform without needing any hardware whatsoever. The upcoming Uplay Plus from Ubisoft will give you access to all Ubisoft titles for a flat $14.99 fee. With a growing number of titles from the French-based game developers on Stadia, for avid fans this might be a new portal or a way to get access to an admittedly small Ubisoft library on Stadia, or a growing library over time. Looking ahead, we're still a long way from a large library of game titles to choose from, but there are quite a few announcements of games coming to Stadia in the future, all the way through October. We're expecting yet more announcements of games coming to the streaming platform, now that a direct rival has been announced by Amazon in the form of Luna though. That said, October 2020 also saw a small number of titles announced as coming to Stadia soon. As you say, it's a modest list by any standards, but that fall 2020 rush is set to continue in the coming weeks. So that about rounds off the fourth instalment of Google Stadia Save State. If you're an ardent Stadia gamer, let us know down in the comments section below what you're excited for the most, be that game, feature or platform update, or just what you've been playing over the past month. With all of that said though, thanks for tuning in, and until next month, this is Damien with 9to5 Google saying thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.